Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3, and today I'm going to be giving you part 3 of What If Naruto had the most powerful Sharingan. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual, share this to all of your friends in social media platform, and also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto was an alien hybrid over an Anime King, and I enjoyed that guys. And over an Anime King, I've also posted a brand new episode of What If Naruto was trained by Shao Kahn, so go ahead and enjoy that as well guys. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be planning talking back to all of you. And yeah, without further ado, what is to begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last time we left off, we start off with a flashback of the past, where one Uncle Midarashi wanted Naruto to train her, as she was basically an outcast because of her mark, that not even the Hokage could solve, as Orochimaru had placed his curse mark on her and no one knew would get rid of it, and people thought that she was working for the snake. Orochimaru had kidnapped many children from Konoha before he fled, and that was a lot of children. He kidnapped all of them and ran experiments on them as most of them had died. So people had learned how to hate her even though she had nothing to do with it. Her apartment was even ransacked and burned, as she was currently living in the forest of death, as her team had moved on and they did not trust her enough, as she was just pushed back in the back like an outcast until she was being attacked in the forest of death. After Naruto had turned her down, she had went home. But the people that attacked her was all disassembled in front of her eyes. He broke them, arms and legs, as she watches he appear out of darkness. Her body gave in to the exhaustion that she was feeling as she collapsed. When Uncle woke up, she was in the tower, as she saw Naruto standing there, as she was confused why did he came. Most people wouldn't bat her eyes she was getting beaten. He told her that he saw himself in her when he was younger, and he will help her, as Uncle was delighted at that. We then skip back to the present time, as it's been a while since she saw him. Back then she did not know the full story about what happened with him, or about his sister and his best friend, but now she knew, but she had never once spoken about it as she saw that he didn't want to speak about it, as Uncle admired him a lot. To she, he was a person that can do things that no other people can do. He was able to take her out of the village on dangerous missions that she shouldn't supposed to go on. Not even if she was a chunin, but yet, he was able to bring her out. And he didn't care about the backlash or what people said, he just did not care. And it made him just so much more awesome as she couldn't help it, as she got a crush on him. But he made it really clear that, well, she was a kid. He was in his late 20s, so yeah, she was a kid. As she had tried though, but she failed in all aspects. But he was her friend, as she wanted to be here for him, but he was actively avoiding her. But if she was the one thing, she was persistent, as she kept on chasing after him. As the both of them had let a spar, which she lost in seconds, as she forgot the one rule: do not look into the eye of a Sharingan user. As Naruto was called afterwards to a council meeting, as Fukaku spoke to him, as Fukaku was telling him that he should have been there at the meeting that he had last night, but Naruto did not seem to care. As they went inside, it turns out that Fukaku was not really supposed to be the clan head, as Kagami had 3 kids: Emiko, Minato, and Naruto. As Emiko was his firstborn, but the Uchiha clan was never led by a female before, and that was the tradition when Mikoto was born. As the woman that he was with had died, things happened and he ended up meeting an Uzumaki, but because of the two clans not really getting along together, they, well, fell apart. But the woman still wanted him to meet his child, which was Naruto. That is the reason why he had crimson hair that was dark. But when the Uzumaki's fall, Naruto was here in Konoha as Emiko. Unlike the others, she liked her little brother. The others thought that he did not belong here because he was not full Uchiha, and saying that he was half Uzumaki, but Emiko did not care, as she was the one that took responsibility of Naruto, as Kagami put the clan before them like he always did. Same thing like he did for Emiko, that is why she never got along with him. As Naruto spoke in the council room, as he told them if they push the Uchiha back once more, there will be war, and the Uchihas will revolt. He was dead serious as he did not care what he thought. As Danzo decided to go quiet after Minato spoke, the meeting was over as Fukaku was a bit angry at Naruto for doing this without talking to him. But he was lucky that everything went through well. But Naruto did not care what the man said. Before he could leave though, Tatsumi came over. She placed a hand on his shoulder as she invited him for drinks, as she was basically not asking. Not that she could force him, but it amused him as he decided to tag along. As Naruto felt someone watching him as he turned, unknown to him, he was being watched by another Uchiha who was talking to a strange plant creature. At the same time, Mikoto was dragging Kushina along to come and have drinks with them. So yeah guys, that's basically what I thought. You guys can switch across the play sector for yourself. So we'll just begin this new episode. We begin this episode in the past, where Konoha was in the Third Great Shinobi War. It was not too long ago. To be exact, it was 5 months before he decided to train Anko. As the war was coming to an end, Konoha was pushing back the Hidden Stone. Kumo had decided to back down. They weren't really launching any assaults. The San was with Konoha, and they were using their military force to hold off the Hidden Stone. Oniki just had to know when to give up, but he would relent soon after all. If he did not, his man would die. Minato had launched a crippling blow on their forces with his Harishin, and not to mention with Naruto on the battlefield as well. It was hard for the Hidden Stone to get a victory, seeing that these two ninjas could take out hundreds, maybe thousands by themselves. But they were not just the only ones. As Naruto ducked, a hand flashed over his head, as he then moved as a kick flashed past his face as he jumped back. But the person that stood in front of him was smiling. "I see you're on your guard," as the voice was soft and sweet as Naruto looked up towards her. "You know I'm always on my guard," said Naruto as he smiled towards his older sister Emiko. Emiko had short black hair, stopping right at her shoulders. Her eyes were dark as most Uchihas. She had a cute button nose and perky lips. She had a figure that would got most men dying to get to know her, but she was wearing a black bodysuit right now, so you couldn't really tell, as it hid most things away. It was like an armor bodysuit, but it was more sleek. It was not that tough, but it was good for mobility, and it could defend her quite well. As Emiko looked towards her younger brother, the both of them had done a lot in this war. They had done a lot, killed a lot of people, and a lot of life. But it has to be done in sake of protecting Konoha. Emiko wanted her home to be safe, and she would do anything to make sure that happened. But Emiko was not a normal kunoichi. She was dangerous, immensely so. After all, her name showed that. She was known as the Sharingan Queen of Konoha. Her Sharingan was not normal. She had awakened her Mangita Sharingan that put her above several individuals of the clan, because it was rare for anyone to awaken these eyes. She had lost a close friend of hers in the war, someone that she grew up with, as he was always there with Naruto and Mikoto as well. He was a very close friend, and she had watched him die right in front of her, as that was enough for her to awaken her eyes. And with her eyes she gained special abilities, quite powerful and deadly ones. And with that, her reputation in the clan boosts. The elders might not like her because she refused to be under their control, saying that she loves someone outside of the clan, while they want her to marry inside, something that she didn't want to do. But for the rest of the members, who saw her with her power, they acknowledged her strength. Even the elders acknowledged her strength despite them not liking her that much. As she glanced towards her brother, despite her awakening her Mangityu, her brother was different. Maybe it was because of his Uzumaki genes. He had more chakra than any other Uchiha. Even the elders going as far as to say as he had more chakra than Madara Uchiha as well. A man that was said to fall for days without submitting, as Madara had a lot of chakra. And Naruto had a lot more. Maybe it was because of his Uzumaki heritage. Growing up, he was never a powerful child. Emiko had noticed that. So he busted his ass and he trained. Even in the pouring rain, he trained. He pushed himself to his limit every single day to grow his physique. And that brought forward physical strength, a lot of it. When he awakened his Sharingan, it mixed with his physical strength to make him one powerful genin. As he had rose to the ranks so quickly, they had to put him on the battlefield. She was angry about this because he was so young. But still, he was powerful enough to handle himself, and he slowly rose through the rank. She and her brother was not with the Uchiha regime, seeing that the both of them were different in a way. Him being half Uzumaki and her, not really following their laws. But they acknowledged her strength, so they did not fully exile her from the clan. But she was not a part of certain clan traditions anymore. As for Naruto, he could not partake in many things, because of him not being full Uchiha, despite him awakening his Sharingan. But she believed that one day that will all change, when they saw how truly powerful he was. As Emiko made her way over to him, "It's all coming to an end," she said, with a smile on her face. "It should, because we're all tired," said Naruto. "Oniki is just a stubborn bastard who refused to give up." "You're telling me," said Emiko, "despite all of his loss, he just won't give." But soon he'll realize that he's outnumbered, and he's losing his force faster than we're losing ours. I hope by then he can realize that surrendering is the best cause here. We all just want to go home. And him constantly wasting his man's life is not gonna help that one bit. As Naruto sighed, "Let's just hope he comes to his senses." Emiko pulled at a scroll. "This will end it," she said. "What do you mean?" said Naruto, looking at her confused. As she unraveled the scroll. "Wait, this is Matsuko Tower," he said. "Yeah," said Emiko. As Naruto looked at her confused. "Why are you showing me this? We've just gotten intel about the security force there. And we got to go ahead." "Wait, you're gonna be hitting the tower?" said Naruto. As Emiko nodded, it was one of the hidden stone strongholds. If they were able to get that tower under their control, only he would have no choice but to surrender, as they would be too close to his village, and only he wouldn't dare cause a war inside his own country, so he would be forced to surrender. As Naruto had a grim look on his face, "How much of you will be going?" "You're not coming," Emiko said right away. "What?" said Naruto. "Look, you and the others have to hold off the other forces at the west, while me and a small group go in and take these guys out." "You and a small group? Are you crazy?" said Naruto. "That is the closest to the hidden stone. What makes you think that there won't be at least hundreds, maybe thousands of ninjas stationed there? Look, we got the intel, and the intel isn't wrong. And this is our only chance to conquer the tower. When it's at its weakest, we move early in the morning tomorrow." She placed a hand on his shoulder. "Come on, you've always had faith in me before. Have faith in our fellow Konoha Shinobis as well. The intel is correct. You can count on that. It will be quick and easy. Once the tower has been eradicated, the signal will be sent back for the remaining forces, aka you, to move in and take control of that tower. And then, this whole thing can be put behind us." "I don't like this," said Naruto. As she looked at him, "I don't like it either. But it's our best option right now. But if I go with you, said Naruto. She gave him a smile. You'll be needed to hold off the other forces, so they don't suspect a thing. You guys will have to hit them hard and heavy, so most of their forces will have to regroup to where you are. And we can sneak in and end this. It's our best shot. As Naruto still was not convinced. Come on, trust me. I've never let you down before, have I? No, you haven't, said Naruto. Alright then, she said that smile. Just put your faith in me. I promise, I won't let you down. And besides, once it's all over, you can go and see your Kushina-chan, she said, with a teasing tone, as Naruto's cheeks became a bit red, as she chuckled a bit. So, how's things going? As he ran a hand through his hair. It's getting serious, he said. She raised her eyebrow. Oh, is that so? Yeah, said Naruto. And I mean like, really serious. As she smiled at that. Well, I suppose once it's over, I can expect nieces and nephews. As that made him blush even more, as she couldn't help but tease her little brother. It always made her happy. It was her duty as his older sister. And what about you, said Naruto. As she chuckled a bit, a sly look on her face. Oh, so you want to know about me and Ranger, huh? She asks. As her soon-to-be husband Ranger. Because of this whole war, things have been thrown into chaos. And they hadn't done the things that they planned to do. Her husband was Renji Inuzaka, yes. The reason why most of the clan, the elders, frowned upon her, as she decided to marry outside the clan. The moment she got married Renji, she would have to give up the Uchiha name though, as she would be marrying in the Inuzaka clan. But she loved them too much. And not to mention Naruto was with her with this. Mikoto might not agree with it that much, seeing that she was giving up her family, but she was still gonna see them and be a part of their family. The elders just have to loosen up a bit, which they would not do. But that didn't matter her, as Naruto was with her and that was all that she needed. Mikoto would come around. She was always with father's beliefs, and the elders as well, but she will learn to understand. Once this whole war is over with, me and Renji will hit the bedroom, and we won't come out until I'm pregnant, she said. As Naruto's eye twitched. I did not need to hear that, he said to her. She poked him in the forehead. Come on, your big sister is a very desirable person. I mean, look at me. I'm so cute, she said. As Naruto rolled his eyes, as she chuckled a bit, as both of them started to walk. There was a pleased smile on his face. His sister was getting along with Renji. He was good friends with the man, as Renji was the one that introduced him to Tatsumi Inazaka, one of his closest friends. She was brash and wild, and she was fun as well. As he glanced toward his sister with a smile. This would finally be over, and they could go home, and he could see Kushina again as he smiled to himself. Little did they know, that was the last he would ever see Emiko, and everything would go to hell after that. Naruto's mind snapped back to reality. As he was in the bar, someone had poked him right in the forehead. Snapping his mind back to reality as his mind had drifted off, remembering past memories. That was the day when everything changed, when he became the demon of Konoha for what he did. But at the moment though, he was here. Sitting beside him was Tatsumi Inazaka, as she was the one that poked him. As she looked at him with a frown. What's wrong, said Naruto. You asked me to come, so here I am. Why are you angry, he asked her. I asked you to come because I want you to drink and hang out with us. But you're not doing that. As Naruto was confused by what she meant. Well, he knew exactly what she meant, but he pretended to be confused. He'd go as far as to make himself believe that he was confused, when he was actually not. That was just how he was. I have no idea what you're talking about. She's right, you know, said a voice. To his other side was none other than Inuichi, one of his close friends as well, who he hadn't had much interaction with lately. As Inuichi had a cup of steak in front of him. Inuichi had recently got married to Itsayana. She was once a shinobi, but she had retired, and she had married into the Yamanaka clan. They had went to the academy together, because of her name starting with I as well. Naruto had made a joke about it a long time ago, saying that two of them were meant to be. And it seems like he was right. As Naruto glanced towards Inoichi, who sipped at his sake. Would you mind elaborating? Well, in the past. You will be drunk already, Inoichi said. And perhaps going on to your 8-9 drink. As Naruto was a lot of fun then. Yeah, you were more fun back then, said Tatsumi, as she knew what he's been through. But all of them had lost, but it was different for him. Because he still blamed himself for something that was not his fault, yet he blamed himself. And they could not help him because he would not talk about it. She sighed, at least he was out here with them. As Naruto took a sip of the sake, it was then that Choza came sitting down, as he had 2 large plates of wings in front of him, as he had a big smile on his face. This was a bar, but Choza was here to eat. As he glanced towards Naruto. Hey Naruto, he said, as he pushed one of the plates towards Naruto. As Naruto glanced down towards it. They told me that this is the hottest wing they have in the place. Why don't you give it a try after all? You love these things. Sorry. Kind of lost my appetite for spicy food, said Naruto. Wait, what? Said Choza. As he looked at Naruto with shock. Despite not looking at Naruto could eat. Yes, he could eat a lot. Despite not looking at it. He had this appetite that he had no idea where Naruto get it from, but he had it. And he also used to love spicy food. He always doused his food in pepper. But now he was saying he wasn't into spicy food anymore. Before anyone could say anything, there was a sigh. You know, I just want to go home and take a nap. Why do I have to be here? Said Shikaku as he sat down in the booth. Because we're having a friendly get-together, said Tatsumi as she glared at him. But the man simply sighed as he leaned his head back. Before he looked toward the spicy wings, he looked toward Choza. Be my guest, Choza said, with a small smile. As Inoichi raised an eyebrow, Tatsumi said nothing as the man picked up the wing and examined it. This looked really spicy. It has a bit of spice in it, said Tatsumi, speaking before Choza could. But it's not that bad. Come on, you're a man, try it, she said. He shrugged as he bit into it. His face immediately turned red, as his eyes started to water, as he took several deep breaths before he spoke. Ow. That's a lot spicier than I thought, he said, as he leaned back. As Naruto glanced towards him, let me guess. It will be too troublesome to groan in pain that your mouth is burning. Yeah, said Shikaku as he leaned back, as he started to fan at his mouth. If there was one thing you could count on, it was his laziness when you want to be lazy. And right now he was too lazy to even say that his mouth was burning. As Choza handed him the large jug of water, as he started to drink. And he drank a lot to show how much it was burning, but he refused to acknowledge it. Ah, you're all here, said a voice, as everyone turned to see Mikoto. And the person behind her was none other than Kushina. Tatsumi glanced towards Naruto for a brief second, but his face showed nothing. He was just calm. As Kushina's face showed nothing either. Given that these two were the ideal couple not too long ago, it was weird to see them acting this way. As both of them sat down, there was a bit of tension there. As Mikoto saw the spicy wings. What's this? Having an eating challenge, she asked, as she glanced towards Naruto. No, not really. These look spicy, she said. Oh, they're not that spicy, said Tatsumi. Why don't you give it a try? As Mikoto shrugged as she reached out, only for Naruto to speak. Mikoto, he said. Huh? Said Mikoto looking towards him. Tell me, how well do you know Tatsumi? Mikoto was a bit confused. Well enough, we're good friends, what? And, you know that she has this prankster side, right? Yeah, I know that. Why are you... She then looked back towards the wings. Let me guess. They're super spicy. Hey, come on, why do you have to ruin my fun, said Tatsumi, as she leaned back, and took a swig of her sake. Well, brothers and sisters are supposed to watch out for one another. Good job, Naruto, said Mikoto. I try, said Naruto. Kushina reached forward as she pulled one of the wings, as everyone looked towards her as she ate it. Her cheeks became a bit red, but she did not cry or made a single movement to show that her mouth was burning as she took another one and ate it. They're spicy, but not that spicy, she said. I guess you're all just a bunch of chickens, as she looked at all of them. Is that the challenge, Tatsumi asks. Well, if you're the one to take it up, then yes. I mean, do you really think you can outlast me, especially when it comes towards spicy food? I wouldn't want to accidentally send you to the hospital. Huh, big talk. Well then, as Tatsumi raised her hand, are you guys really gonna do this? Said Mikoto. She challenged me. I have to meet her challenge head on, said Tatsumi. The waiter came over. Another plate of your most spicy wings right here. Are you sure? The man asked, looking at her. Her eye twitched. What? You think that because I'm a woman I can handle it? No, of course, it's just... I mean, they're really spicy, he told her. Bring it, she said. The man nodded immediately. He returned a few minutes later as his ear was tense. Well, this is gonna be something, said Inoichi, as he glanced towards Naruto. Yes, said Naruto, as he did not elaborate on anything, as he watched. As Mikoto watched both women. Give us a go-ahead, said Tatsumi as she looked towards Shikaku. You're gonna regret this, he told her. I said give us a go-ahead, she told him once again. Alright, fine. Go ahead. As the two women started chow down, as everyone watched, as Tatsumi's face started to become red and red and red, till steam started to leave her ears. As she was the first one to cry out in pain, as the waiter came over with a large jug of water. I told you, she snatched it away from him as she started to drink like it was no tomorrow. Cushioned her face was all red like she was about to burst, but she held on to it for a bit longer until she screamed. As the waiter brought her another one as she drank the jug, completely swallowing the contents like it was nothing, as both women looked like they were almost dying from their stupid challenge. As Naruto started to laugh, Mikoto looked towards him surprised. So did the others as well. As they started to laugh as well, even the lazy Shikaku started to laugh. The only person that didn't go along with it after a while, even Tatsumi went along with it, was Kushner, as she narrowed her gaze towards Naruto, as she knew exactly what he was doing, and just like that they talk, they reminisce. As Naruto put in a word here and now, as he did not talk to Kushner, they might have elaborated on something each other said, but they did not talk openly. Once all of it was gone, Naruto got up. Well, this was fun. We should do it again some other time, said Tatsumi as she looked at all of them. Again? Said Shikaku. Yeah, you got a problem, she asked. As she glared at him, he sighed. Troublesome woman, he said. What was that? Nothing, he said to her. The group started to split apart. As Inoichi placed a hand on Naruto's shoulder. As Naruto glanced towards him. Hey, I think I might be going fishing one of these days. You want to tag along? Depends when it will be, said Naruto. Soon. So how about it? If I'm available, I'll be there, said Naruto. That's good, said Inoichi. We can catch up. As long as you don't try to trick me into another therapy session, we'll be fine. Come on. I already apologized for that a long time ago. Who says I hadn't forgive you, said Naruto. Because you always bring it back up, Inoichi said. As Naruto shrugged, Inoichi sighed. I'll see you soon, man, he said. As Tatsumi stepped beside him. So, planning on catching up with everyone. What about me? As Naruto looked towards her. Who said I was planning on catching up with everyone? I overheard, she said. So what about me? You're always blowing me off nowadays. So why don't we catch up? It's been a while, she told him. And what if I were to say no, said Naruto. Well then, I'll come by your house. And knock on your door until you answer. I can just ignore you. Well, I won't stop. And I'll hunt you down until I finally found you. So, it's up to you. Hang out with me and let's catch up. Or, well, I torment you, she said to him. As Naruto looked towards her. You know, that was always one of your worst qualities. Never giving up. I really hate that about you. A somber look came on her face. You also had that quality once. Have you lost it? She asked him. How about another time then, said Naruto, as she realized that he was deflecting her question. So, we can catch up, she asks. Yeah, said Naruto. But soon, okay? As long as you don't blow me off. Okay, she told him. I'll see you guys soon, she said. She separated, along with the others, leaving behind Aowu and Mikoto. As Naruto looked towards her with a sigh, everyone else seemed to be fine. She hadn't even had that much to drink, but she was never one to drink a lot. She could handle a half cup of sake, but as Naruto lifted up her cup that was empty. What? I'm fine, she said. She tried to point towards him. You know you're a mother, right? Come on, give me a break. I'm a wonderful mom. Can't I blow off some steam every now and then, she asked him. Besides, you're here, she said. And, said Naruto, well, you can bring me home. As she placed her head on the table. Bring me quietly, she said to him. He sighed once more before reaching over as he picked her up. As he placed her over his shoulder, he didn't realize that there was one other person here. As he glanced towards Kushner, neither of them said anything, but there was a long walkway. Before both of them separate as they exit the bar, they walk. There was no words exchanged between them. There was nothing at all. Until she finally spoke, seeing that he wasn't going to say anything. You look better, she said. As he finally spoke to her, blame it on the others. They're trying to force it out of me, said Naruto. Huh. I know what you're doing, you know. They know you, but they don't know you as much as I do. What are you talking about? Naruto asked her. You always do this. You give them this false image of yourself. That things are gonna change and you are gonna now be a part of their little friend group, as you were in the past. I'm sure that Shikaku has noticed this, but he's too lazy to say anything about it, but the others, they don't. You've done this several times now. Each time, you pretend like things are gonna go back to normal, but then you just ignore everyone once again. Huh. You caught on to that, huh? Yes, I have, she told him, as she walked beside him. As Mikoto was saying something, but they couldn't really hear her because she was mumbling too much. Well, what can I say? Stop blowing them off, she said, cutting them off. That you can see. As Naruto chuckled a bit. It was you, wasn't it? What was me, she asked. About Minato. You already know, so don't pretend like you don't. I'm afraid I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, you don't? The others don't seem to know yet. Or perhaps they do, given that they've been asking me to hang out with them. Knowing that I usually go on missions most of the time. But I've been given a break, forceful break if I might say, by your husband, for at least 2 weeks, before I can take part in any missions. Were you the one to tell him to do this? Said Naruto. How would I convince the Hokage to do something with his own shinobis? Yes, or together. But you're his shinobi. I'm not the one in control. So you had nothing to do with this, said Naruto. As she shook her head. As Naruto looked at her. He didn't stop, caused her to stop. As he raised a hand and poked her in the forehead. What are you doing? She asked. Whenever you lie to me, in general, there's this little crease right here in your forehead. I can tell when you're lying. I've told you that before, but you haven't shaken that habit. I'm not lying, she said, as a crease appeared. Huh. As she saw his face, all that laughter that he was putting on in there, all that happiness, it was just erased. After losing his sister and his best friend in the war, it broke him. Her best friend Mikoto always told her that Uchihas are the most lovable. They love their siblings and their members to an extent where it was dangerous. That is why the loss of someone that they love always change your eyes one way or another. As she came to believe that when Naruto had lost so much, he pushed her away. Not just her, he pushed everyone away. He isolated himself. And that was because he blamed himself for what happened. Something he could never forgive himself about. As she looked down, unable to meet his gaze. After all this time, you still blame yourself. As she clenched her fists, getting a bit angry. Let me ask you something, she said to him. As they start to walk once again. And what would that be, said Naruto. Do you think Emiko would be happy to see you in this state? The dead don't have opinions anymore, said Naruto. As she frowned at that. So that's it. You're giving up. As Naruto looked at her long and hard. You've asked me this question several times before. Aren't you tired? Huh. I guess I should be, she said, shaking her head. I guess I should hate you as most people say. I guess I should never talk to you again. Yeah, I guess you should, said Naruto. So why do you still do? That's simple. You're lying to yourself, she told him. And how so, he asked. We loved each other, she said. Her tone was hollow as she spoke. We did. We did love each other. And there's nothing that you can say to me ever to tell me that I was wrong about that. I tried. I tried my best to be there for you. I know that you lost a lot. A lot of people did, but you took it the hardest because, unlike most others that try to move on, you blame yourself. You took all of that anger on your shoulders and you released it, taking down innocence and guilty. I saw how much you were in pain after you came back, after you slaughtered all those people. You refused to talk to anyone. You refused to get help, even though everyone tried. You just wanted to be left alone. So we did for a while, but you weren't getting better, and you won't accept our help. We're all friends, we're all close. Do you think we'll just give up on you that easily? Things don't work that way, you idiot, she said. As she clenched her fist even more. Sometimes you make me so mad that I just want to punch you in the face. Maybe you should, said Naruto. What? Maybe you should. Mikoto punched me for missing her birthday. Maybe you should do the same. It will release some of your stress. Besides, you shouldn't be keeping so much stress on your head. You're with Minato right now, aren't you? I am sure he's not liking you constantly, thinking and stressing yourself out about me. That may cause problem in your relationship, and I don't want to be the one at fault here. You know that my birthday is coming up, right? She said to him. And you're planning on missing it, aren't you? She asked. But you're not going to be on any missions. You're going to be in the village. So what exactly else are you going to do? Something might pop up, he said to her. Besides, do you really want me there? He asked her. What do you mean? She said. I mean, everyone's going to be there. Not just those that were at the catching up tonight. Everyone's going to be there. And with me being there, they're all going to focus their attention on me. Not to mention talk about us. After all, Minato would definitely be there. Wouldn't it be awkward? Why would it be? She said. Me and Minato are happily together. Nothing would be awkward. So you have no excuse. And I promise you, if you miss my birthday, I'll kill you, she said. Despite the both of us not being together anymore, I still see you as a friend, despite all the horrible things you've done. So if you dare miss my birthday, I will hunt you down and kill you. And I'm not joking, she said, as her face was dead serious. Remember that. And I'm not joking, she said. She walked past him. As Naruto watched her leave, turning off towards her home. As he looked over his shoulder, realized that Mikoto had fallen asleep. How could one glass of steak put you to sleep? As he shook his head, she was really light-weighted. As he started to walk home, It was nighttime. There wasn't really anyone in the street. He decided to take a shortcut as he leaped, as he was currently making his way through a training ground that would lead him to the back of the Uchiha compound, which he would just jump over the wall. He felt something odd though, as he walked with Mikoto over his shoulder. As Naruto stopped as he watched as the air in front of him distorted, and someone emerged. The person was wearing a strange orange mask. The person was wearing a black cloak, as Naruto could not tell who exactly this was. As the person just looked at him for a moment without saying a word, scanning him up and down. As Naruto had enough. "Who are you?" he said. "We can finally talk," the masked man said, as he sat down on a nearby log, just looking at Naruto. "I have a proposal for you." As Naruto saw that he was checking if Mikoto was asleep, which she was. "Oh, and what's that?" "Well, it's quite simple. You come and work for me, and I'll make sure that you get everything that you want." "Oh? And what do I want?" said Naruto. "Well, that's up to you. What your heart truly desire. I've been watching you, and I see that you're angry." "Angry? At who?" said Naruto. "Well, that's quite simple. Yourself. You blame yourself for the death of Emiko. You hate yourself for it, because you felt like you were responsible for her death, and that guilt has weighted on your heart and turned you into this person. You were once a fun-loving person, but now you're different. And most people are trying to get you back to normal, but they can't, because you've changed, and it doesn't seem like you'll be coming back anytime soon. Well, if you know that, why are you here?" said Naruto. "Well, that's simple, my friend. I have a way to give you all that you desire, which means returning Emiko back to you. Return your life back to you and taking away all this guilt. You're angry that Emiko is dead, but what more take away your sleep and keep you up at night is the guilt. The guilt, the hatred that you put upon yourself, which is so heavy on your shoulders you can barely stand it. You try and try. Seeing your friends and your family is just a constant reminder about how angry you are at yourself, and it hurts a lot. But I can take that all away, and I can give you your life back." "And how would you do that?" said Naruto. "First, I have to know that I can trust you. I will need your help to get my goals in order. With your power, we should get things done rather easily. You will be a big driving force in helping me. With your strength, I can conquer more things and get things done." "Who are you?" said Naruto. "You came here saying that if you can trust me, and yet you haven't told me your name." "That's quite simple. My name is Madara Uchiha." As Naruto raised an eyebrow at that, before he turned his back and started to walk away. "Wait, where are you going?" "I'm tired of hearing your bullshit," said Naruto. "Claiming to be Madara Uchiha. What is this? Do I look like an idiot to you? Madara Uchiha has been dead for a long time now. Do you really expect me to believe that you're Madara Uchiha?" "Please," said Naruto as he started to walk away once again. The man appeared in front of him in a swirling vortex once more. "Death is just an illusion, my friend. Things are not as they seem. My fight with Hoshirama back then was misleading." "If you are Madara Uchiha," said Naruto, "why ask for my help?" said Naruto. "I mean, if you are him, I must say I'm disappointed. You're supposed to be someone that is so strong that you can control the nine-tailed fox itself. Along with your Susanoo, with that amount of power, what army can stand in front of you? With your Susanoo alone, what plague can stop you, said Naruto. You are a walking massive destruction. Why? Ask for my help. It's quite simple. My battle with Hoshirama was not one that was delightful for me. I was hurt. And most of my power has been weakened over time. There are things that you don't know about the Sharingan. As Naruto laughed at that. Even if you are Madara, I doubt that you know as much about the Sharingan as me. Is that so? The masked man said. My eyes are quite different, unique in a way, said Naruto. To the point where I can... As Naruto shook his head, why am I telling you this? Look, leave. And don't show your face back in the leaf again. As Naruto started to walk, this world is a corrupted one that needs a change. And I am going to be the one to change it, with or without your help. But if you join me, you will see that my actions are not lie, and my words are fruitful. But if you don't, and you stand against me, you will lose a lot more. As Naruto paused, he turned his gaze back to him. Are you threatening me? Naruto asked. I am merely stating what will happen if you do not join up with me. As Naruto stepped forward, as he still held on to Mikoto on his shoulder. Listen to me, you fake, said Naruto. I can tolerate a lot, because most things nowadays I don't care about. But if you dare threaten or say anything that even sounds like a threat out of your mouth to me once again, I will rip that pathetic mask off your face and shove it straight down your throat. You don't know who I am. Stepping in here, think that you know anything. Think that you can control or bribe me to help you for your stupid goals. I've seen many men like you before, and they've all fallen because they're idiotic, idealistic, and stupid. If you step towards Konoha, or anywhere near the Uchiha clan, or God forsake anywhere near anyone I care about, I'll find you. I'll rip you limb from limb. And then, only then, when you're in the most worst, unimaginable pain of your life, I will slowly take my time ending your miserable existence. It seems like you've lost your mind somewhere along the way. Take this time to try and rebuild it, and gain some common sense. And don't step foot back in this village once again, because if you do, as Naruto's Sharingan came to life, his eyes shining bright crimson, I will end your pathetic life, said Naruto. The masked man chuckled at that. I've heard that you've gotten soft, quite subdued. I guess they were wrong. You're still the monster that you are. The one that you were back then, when you slaughtered thousands. That is the monster I'm looking for, to help me with my goals. Don't worry. Soon enough you will see that it's unescapable. That joining me is the only thing to do. And then and only then you will understand that I was correct. And when you do come to me begging for my help, don't worry, I will not turn you away, because you and I are the same, and you will realize that soon enough. The masked man was gone in a swirling vortex. As Naruto felt Mikoto stir on his shoulder, but she was still asleep. The things that she could sleep through. As Naruto paused there for a moment, thinking about what that man just said, the moment he had activated Sharingan, he could see. Through that eye hole there was a Sharingan. He was indeed a Uchiha. He'll have to talk to Fukaku about this. Seems like a Uchiha was out there, causing chaos. And that was not good for the clan. A distance away. So what happened? The black creature said, as its white half looked towards the masked man that materialized. Well, he's still as ruthless as before, maybe even more. But he still hasn't had the drive. In a way we're the same. The masked man says he detached his mask and placed on the table, as he smirked to himself. Soon enough he will come to realize that. as he smirked. Meanwhile, back at the village, as Naruto was still standing in the same position that he was, the chakra. Naruto wasn't the best sensor, but he had a good sensor ability. Sensing someone's chakra signature was not that hard, but that masked man's chakra was different. It was diluted. It felt like it was mixed with other signatures, like something else was a part of him. Perhaps he wasn't a real Uchiha, perhaps he was able to get a Uchiha eye implanted in himself. But that technique of his, space-time distortion, a hefty technique to have, but that did not concern Naruto one bit. As long as it was breathing, he could kill anything that stand in his path, space-time technique or not. As Naruto started to make his way once again, as he turned his head, but there was no one there. A distance away, a ninja with a blank mask quickly rushed towards its master and informed him. The master was none other than Danzos Chimera. Danzo clenched his fists. His plan to isolate the Uchihas even more did not work. He wanted those eyes of theirs. It was necessary that he have a couple of them. But his plans are going down in shambles because of that damn Uchiha brat. What was this sudden uprise in him? He thought that he had given up completely after his sister's death. But not just his sister, one of his closest friends as well. But yet he was still ruining his plans up till now. Damn it. He was too influential and powerful within the clan for Danzo to openly make a move against him. But Danzo was never in the open, as he smiled to himself. He will have to die, and his eyes would be a wonderful collection to his. Those eyes were more than special enough, given the display that he had shown in the ending of the Third Great Shinobi War, that he personally ended by himself. As Danzo smirked at that, but he had to play this carefully. He could not just send anyone after him. They would be slaughtered. He needed an opening. He needed to weaken him. But how did he weaken a man that seemed untouchable and unkillable? Danzo had things that Naruto did not know about. Not just Naruto though, that not even the heroes in the army Minato know about. As Danzo chuckled, it would be quite amusing if they all found out that Emiko's death was planned. As Danzo chuckled to himself. After all, that girl was a thorn in his side with her Mangekyo Sharingan. She was too powerful. Uchihas that are too powerful should be put down. Now, he had to find a way to put this other one down. But guys, it'll be in subs right here. If you want to see this person, do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember to share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, stay tuned for the rest of what is coming your way over in the making to an anime making. Yeah guys, I did have 3 channels, and making 2 and making 3. And if you're new, remember to go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the making family. And thank you for all of your help and support. And yeah, without further ado, I'm all for now. See you guys soon. Peace.